everybody, it's Norris with the Norris Group. It is Friday, April 27th, and what is the longest amount of time it's taken you to get to work? That and much more as we cover the biggest headlines in real estate. Don't miss the radio show and the podcast this week. We have John Schaub. We honored John and Peter Fortunato at I Survive Real Estate this year with the Roni Award. He is an author, a speaker, and a real estate investor. We talk about how he got interested in flipping, how were deals financed back in the day, and how he bought inventory from builders, what the source of some of his deals were, and who are the people John prefers to rent his properties to. You won't want to miss that on the radio show and podcast. The National Association of Realtors reported a 1.1% increase in existing home sales last March. HUD and the Census Bureau reported a 4% increase in new home sales for the month of March. Home prices also picked up across the country, 6.3% according to the latest Case-Shiller index. And mortgage rates increased again to a 4-year high, with 30-year rates at 4.58% and 15-year rates at 4.02%. A booming economy and stable employment in most parts of the country have created a new generation of eager homebuyers that is causing fevered bidding battles even in smaller markets. Realtor.com reviewed the top MMA fight zones of real estate, or, well, where the percentage of homes sold above their asking price in the top 150 largest cities. The top 5 are Akron, Ohio, Worcester, Massachusetts, Lexington, Kentucky, Irvine, California, and Greensboro, North Carolina. Speaking of bidding wars, CNBC tells us that more buyers are not only stretching their budgets to buy, they're putting less money down or using adjustable rate loans that offer lower rates, options that weren't available even a couple years ago. The share of conventional loans backed by Fannie Mae with down payments of less than 10% rose from 12% to 14% in 2017, with the expectation that that is going to increase. The less down means higher rates, and that combined with increasing interest rates has buyers fighting to get in before the rates rise further. And as we all know, historically in California, rising interest rates doesn't mean that that's going to mean lower price. So it could get exciting, but where's the inventory? We'll have to watch and see. Areas that were formerly redlined are seeing homes at a median value of $276,000, while non-redlined areas are seeing median values of $324,000, according to Zillow. Areas around the country were labeled to assess credit risk for mortgage lenders. The worst designation is hazardous, which frequently coincided with the racial makeup of that area's residents. So these areas were literally colored in red on maps, hence the term redlining. Homeownership is a significant factor to building wealth, and by denying an entire neighborhood or area equal access to homeownership, the practice of redlining puts residents of those areas in a distinct economic disadvantage. Though most of the housing recovery from the Great Recession is over a decade ago, homes in redline areas are still showing worth of about 85% of value of the surrounding home. So it'll be interesting to see how government programs seek to address that issue. Who knows? HUD Secretary Ben Carson proposed changes to be made to current rent policies that would make them predictable and easier to understand. Through its Making Affordable Housing Work Act, HUD is seeking to reform decades-old rent policies that fail to adequately support individuals and families, so they say. And I quote, "The system we currently use to calculate a family's rental assistance is broken and holds back the very people we're supposed to be helping," says Carson. HUD-assisted households are now required to surrender a long list of personal information, and any new income they earn is taxed every year in the form of rent increase. Today we begin a necessary conversation about how we can provide meaningful, dignified assistance to those we serve without hurting them at the same time. For those of you doing Section 8 renting, this could definitely affect your bottom line and definitely something you're going to want to watch out for. Gross domestic product was a disappointment, shrinking in the first quarter despite the recent tax cuts. Real GDP increased at an annual rate of 2.3% in the first quarter of 2018, according to the advance estimate from the Bureau of Economic Analysis. This is down from the fourth quarter's increase of 2.9%. The National Association of Realtors claimed that the lower GDP is reflective of an ongoing housing crisis. And they said the latest GDP growth rate of 2.3% is short of what is possible, says Lawrence Yoon. Residential investment spending showed zero growth because single-family and condominium construction have not been growing meaningfully. Consumers are facing high rent growth and are having a difficult time saving up for down payment because the fast appreciation in home prices. Gotta blame someone. Millennials are so over home ownership. Millennial home ownership fell from a 3-year high of 36% in the fourth quarter of last year back to 35.3% in the first quarter of this year, according to the U.S. Census Bureau. Meanwhile, the homeownership rate of Americans aged 35 to 64 increased. CNBC says the culprit is pretty clear: weakening affordability. Home prices have jumped dramatically over the year, and the gains accelerated in the first quarter of this year, and the supply of homes and sales continue to drop to record lows. So mortgage interest rates are going up. Things are just getting tougher to afford. So renter households had finally begun to moderate as older millennials shifted into home ownership. Let's see if millennials can bounce back and if this is a long-term or short-term trend. I believe in you. You can do it. The San Francisco Gate says Northern California has seen a huge increase in super commuters, and this has nothing to do with the Avengers movie that's coming out this week. Anyway, those spending more than 90 minutes commuting via car, train, or bus increased over 110% from 2005 to 2016, according to Apartment List in the Bay Area. However, Stockton was the worst, with 10% of their commuters spending over 90 minutes commuting. That's brutal. I know a really good podcast, by the way, if you're looking for something to do, the Norris Group. But I've personally spent, at one time when it was really bad, 3 hours going from LA to Riverside until I moved, and that was one way on a Friday night. That was brutal. So I could have potentially been spending about 5 hours a day in road traffic. How bad have you done? What's the most you've ever spent on the road to get to work? I would love to hear what you have to say. If you're on YouTube, please leave a comment below, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a beat. If you're on Facebook, please don't forget to not only like the Norris Group page, but don't forget to add us to your See First list and with notifications on. Leave your comments below the video, and if we miss something, share the story on our comment sections on either YouTube or Facebook, and we'll make sure to include it on our blog at thenorrisgroup.com/blog. We would love to see you out and about in May. We've got some upcoming events. Stay Put or Cash Out will be doing in Orange County at OCRE Forum on May 9th. We'll be doing the same chat in Long Beach at the Apartment Owners Association $1 Million Trade Show, and that is free, by the way, and I always love attending all the booths and vendors. If you're a landlord, you never know what you're going to find. May 23rd, Stay Put or Cash Out, we'll be doing with Homevestors in SoCal, I think that's in Orange County. May 7th, Stay Put or Cash Out in San Diego Investment Club. And then the 19th, we're going to be part of NSDREI's, the Northern San Diego Real Estate Investors Club, 14th anniversary party dinner. Dad and I are going to be on the panel talking about all kinds of things: real estate investing, legacy building. And so if you're in San Diego, we'd love to see you there. And there's going to be 2 times to catch us, but 2 very different programs. For more information on hard money lending in California and Florida, and if you want to talk about 1031 exchanges and want to get some ideas, I would love to help out. Just call the office, ask for me. We can chat. We offer everything that we do in California for Florida, including fix and flip, buy and hold, and new construction, but the terms are a little different. So check out the website. You'll find areas for both California and Florida. For more information on passive investing with trust deeds and mortgages, now that we're in a mortgage state, check out tngtrustdeeds.com or look under the Invest tab on thenorrisgroup.com. That's it. Have a fantastic weekend, and we'll see you next week.